In this video, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the club events management system. Basically, this is what you see when you launch the application. It's the main dashboard that has three buttons. First button is to open Manage Round Robins form. This button is to manage court allocation, and the third button, manage players. Let's start with manage court allocation screen. When you open the form, first thing you see is drop down where there is a previous event, and normally you would start with creating a new event by pressing the new button, and this is what we're gonna do. Click new. It opens the new event dialog. The event name is defaulting to court allocation. Date defaults to today's date, and start time and end time defaults to 7 p.m. start time and end time to 9:30 p.m. You can adjust. So for example, as you can see right now, the time is 7:25. So let's pretend that our court allocation is going to start at 7:30. So we're going to choose the 7:30 start time, and end time automatically adjusted to 10 p.m. So here you can see the list of rounds starting at 7:30 and at 15 minute increments. And here you can choose how many courts and which courts are going to be used for court allocation. At White Oaks, courts 1 to 4 start at 0 and 30 minutes, and courts 5 to 8 starts at 15 and 45 minutes. So let's pretend that for this video we're gonna show that we're using all 8 courts. So I'm gonna check make sure that all 8 courts are checked, and we're also gonna adjust end time to 10:30, so that will be the last round. So total of 13 rounds. And we're going to click OK. And now, as you can see, the drop down, so the new event was created. The drop down automatically reflects that. And in the area on the right, you can see the grid, which shows rounds and the court numbers. Also, you might notice that rounds that starts at 7:30, 8 p.m., 8:30 are for courts 1 to 4, and rounds at 7:45, 8:15, 8:45, etc. are for courts 5 to 8. So next step is to start registering players that are going to be playing tonight. To do that, you click Register Players button. That opens the Register Players court allocation dialog. And the easiest way is to just start typing the name of the player. So the dialog will automatically limit the players in the list to ones whose name match the pattern. So I'm gonna start typing Dmitry. Here's me, and you just double click, and as you can see here, the player was added to the list of registered players. Then I'll just start typing another name. Here's Albert. Again, double click. To go back to the full list, I press delete button. I highlight the search pattern and press delete button. So that shows me the full list and number of players in the list. You can also just simply scroll if you find that easier, and if there is number of players, you can simply check players. So for example, let's say Kenneth is playing Lana, Christine, Ling, Mark Taylor, Mark Podell, Jackson, Mayumi. So I checked all players who are currently, let's say, waiting to be registered. I just click add, and here on the left I see all these people registered. Now I click the close button to close the dialog and go back to the main screen. You might notice that the registered players box shows the list of players who registered for the event and time when they came in. Next step is add players to courts, and you can only add no less than 2 players and no more than 4 players to a single court. So if I try to click add courts without checking any players, the system will tell me that please check players you want to add to court. If I check just one, I'm getting a message that you can add no less than 2 players and no more than 4 players to one court. So I need to check at least 2 players. So let's say Dmitry and Albert are going to be playing together on court 1. So what I have done, I clicked the option button next to the round that I am placing people at, and it shows it with the background highlighting. The court numbers, labels, they're all in red, so red indicates that court is available, so nobody is on the court. So we're going to check 2 players, Dmitry and Albert, and click add to court. So that opens the add players to court dialog. Start time was already pre-selected, but I can choose a different time if I want to add them to another round. Choose court number. Again, drop down shows me 4 courts for this time slot and how many players are on each court. So we're going to choose court 1, click add. And now you can see these 2 players on court 1, and their names turned red in the registered players box, indicating that these players are already on court. So if I try accidentally to add them to court again, let's say the same time, but I choose court 2, I will get a message that the player that I'm trying to add to this round, they're already playing in that round. So I cannot, the system doesn't allow me to do that. So let's imagine that this next 4 players are playing doubles. And so this is foursome. So I check all 4 of them, click add to court, and choose, let's say I'll choose court 1 and try to add them to court 1. System won't allow me to do that because that will result in having 6 players on court 1, which violates court allocation rules. So it tells me that I need to choose different court or modify player selection. So I click OK, choose court 2, click Add, and now these 4 players are placed on court 2. And so this way I continue, choose the next 4 players, which let's say also playing foursome, and click Add to Court, choose Court 3, click Add, and this 4 players are on Court 3. Notice another thing, that when I click on the person whose name is red, it automatically highlights where that player is, so that allows user to quickly see where that player was playing or is playing in different rounds. When I choose another round, the system also, by coloring player names, indicates whether these players can or cannot play in that round. And as you can see, none of the players currently registered are allowed to play in round 2 at 7:45. The reason for that, because they are all already in the round for 7:30. If I choose round 8, now all their names turned black, which means that they can be placed on courts for round starting at 8 p.m.